Happy Bagua. Foreign currency shortage to be addressed. And $81 million more for Guyana's NRF. I'm Rico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The president and his family extend greetings to all Guyanese on the occasion of the Hindu festival of Bagua. The festival is celebrated by Guyanese of all cultural backgrounds and is a symbol of inclusivity. The president emphasizes the importance of promoting harmonious relations among all people and working towards a more inclusive and equitable future. He also highlights the abundant natural resources in Ghana and the government's efforts to develop them sustainably for the benefit of all citizens. 4 people died in a road accident on Monday morning at Greenwich Park on the east bank of Essequibo. 50-year-old minibus driver Vernon Powell, 72-year-old Margaret Kennedy, 57-year-old Olga Reddy, and 40-year-old Elvis Charles were all pronounced dead. They were all occupants of the minibus. The accident involved a minibus and a sand truck. The truck was being driven at a fast rate and collided with the minibus, resulting in injuries and fatalities. The driver of the truck was tested for alcohol, but none was found. He was taken into police custody. So far for the year, over 30 people have died in road accidents in Ghana, with speeding being the main cause. Yesterday morning, 26-year-old Anisa Ishmael was killed by her common-law husband, Ricardo Catao, in front of her younger sister in Hope, East Coast, Demerara. The woman was preparing to leave the abusive relationship with Catao when he attacked her with a knife. The younger sister was also attacked but managed to fight him off. The man then ingested poison and stabbed himself after the attack. The woman died while receiving emergency treatment, and the man is currently under police guard in the hospital. An investigation is ongoing. The opposition leader predicts that general and regional elections will be held next year, contrary to the vice president's claims that elections will not be held until 2026. Norton warns against complacency and urges preparations for elections in 2024, saying that the vice president is just going to change his mind at the last minute. Ghana's constitution mandates elections 5 years after the swearing-in of parliament. Norton also cautions against allowing the PPPC to gain control of Georgetown in the 2023 local government elections. The government has signed 3 loans with the IDB totaling US $205 million to strengthen the nation's healthcare system, build roads, and enhance infrastructure. However, this will add to Ghana's already large external debt, which stood at US $3.654 billion at the start of this year, representing an increase of 16.9% from last year. The IDB had cautioned Latin America and Caribbean nations against excessive borrowing in a report released in January this year and urged governments to bring their debts down to more prudent levels. Clearly, we are not heeding said advice. US-based Guyanese political activist Rickford Burke is expected to be extradited to Guyana soon to answer to possible charges of extortion, sedition, and inciting public terror. Oh boy, they're really pushing these terrorism charges. Anyway, the Guyanese authorities have engaged U.S. law enforcement agencies to ensure that persons are brought to justice for criminal offenses in Guyana. Burke's last-known addresses are in Brooklyn, New York, and Bartaga, Guyana, and he's wanted by the police for several charges, including conspiracy to commit a felony to wit publication of defamatory libel in order to extort money.
Hey, I'm interrupting this program to let you know that not all truck parts are created equal. Some does work hard without any problems for a long time, while others does make your truck broke down quick and got you running your pockets again. Get genuine high-quality parts from Powered Automotive Truck Spares and Engine Parts and extend the life of your repair. They're the authorized dealer in Guyana for Hammer USA products like brake valves, clutch discs, universal bearings, and other. Visit them at 1161 EE Eccles or call them on 697-0171. Powered Automotive, the #1 truck and engine parts store in Guyana. If you didn't know, well, now you know.
Powered Automotive is having a major sale for Bagua. Check it out from March 6th to the 11th for this amazing deal. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is 2020 Toyota Raze. It's almost brand new, and it comes with Toyota safety sets, Bluetooth, mud rims, new tires, TV, CD, LED lighting, fog lamps, bar camera, and much, much more. Buy cars for $6 million. All pay as low as $1.2 million down with around $160,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Pinot Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them we can send you for this sweet deal. Tired of waiting on hold, tracking down a delivery driver, or carrying cash for your food orders? GT Eat is here to make your life easier. Guyana's first cashless food ordering and delivery app. Choose from Georgetown's top restaurants, pay securely with your card, and get your food delivered right to your doorstep. With the convenience of being able to order from your phone and the added feature of tracking your order, GT Eats is the ultimate solution for all your food needs. Download the app on Apple and Android stores and start ordering the easy way today. The Bank of Guyana, private sector players, and the Bankers Association have agreed to work together to address foreign currency shortages in the local market, specifically US dollars. While there's enough foreign currency to satisfy demands, an interbank network exists to facilitate sharing amongst banks, but moral cessation is relied upon to encourage sharing. The parties have agreed to collaborate to address the issue and ensure efficient distribution of foreign currency availability across the market. Let's just see if they'll actually hold to that. The Vice President estimates that at least 1,500 new healthcare workers will be needed to satisfy demand, as several new hospitals are set to open across the nation. While some workers may need to be imported, the focus will still be on training Guyanese citizens to work in the healthcare system. The nation is also in need of an electronic record management system for hospitals, which is set to be implemented in the public sector. However, it should be noted that such a system already exists at Mardia Hospital, but it is yet to be expanded. A delegation from Belize's Mayan community visited Guyana to learn from our nation's Amerindian Act and improve on the legislation being drafted for Belize's indigenous people. The group identified short laws in the Guyanese law, including a lack of consistency with the international law standards and an excessive amount of power vested into the state when it comes to matters of indigenous peoples. The delegation hopes to put forward a model that Guyana can also borrow from and emphasizes the importance of indigenous peoples' participation in the development of legislation intended to protect them. GWI is currently drilling an 8-inch well in Cons Hill Region 1 to improve access to potable water for residents in the area. The government aims to provide every household with potable water and expand the service to other areas, including Thomas Hill, Mabaruma Settlement, and the township area. The drilling of approximately 17 water wells in 2023 is part of the government's target for Region 1, and over $2 billion has been invested in hinterland communities to increase access to clean, safe water. Now for today's oil update. Guyana's Natural Resources Fund has received a payment of US $82 million in February, representing revenue from the first lift of profit oil sold in the new year. The government withdrew US $200 million from the fund in February for expenditure on national development priorities. Again, they have not been named specifically. The fund receives profit oil payments in January, but those were for 2 lifts from the previous year. ExxonMobil's Liza projects in the Starbuck block average combined production of 372,000 barrels per day in January. You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Robbery season might be over, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home or business with Sheriff Security. Sheriff Security has well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, Marine Patrol, K-9 services. They speed leaving our drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now for our Uncut News Views Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you fear it relates to us. Last night I asked, how do you feel about the government's proposition to extend their rule into late 2025? But before we get to that, I'm proud to announce our latest addition to the Noble Army, Richard Singh, who is supporting us at the reporter level, the highest level of monthly support we've received so far. So thank you, Richard Singh. And also, a special thank you to David Griffith, Dion Nascimento, Project Zero, and Dimitri V. I appreciate you all. And if you're watching at home and you'd like to support our movement, just hit the link in the video description. Richard Singh says once again the Guyanese government has too much power. No one there to keep them in check, so they do what they want. The laws need to be updated to better protect the people of Guyana from the government. The election day should be on the same date, in the same month, every 5 years, like in the US. It's every 4 years, but I see exactly what you're saying, and it's a shame that because we seem to be going through a political crisis just about every 5 years, we just can't keep the same date. It's ridiculous. Now for tonight's question. I want to know, how did you spend your Pagua holiday? Did you go out and play Pagua, or was it just another day of work? Clearly you could see how it worked, but I want to hear from you. So think about that question, tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bullfoot saying good night, folks.